Coming up next on the Conscious Courage podcast.
S in SMART stands for specific. The M is measurable. And the A is achievable, the R is relevant, and then the T is time bound. So a specific goal here is, instead of saying, oh, I want to save money, say, oh, I need to save, or I want to save, or I will save, I am saving.
Good morning. Welcome to the Conscious Courage podcast, and sing it with me. Happy Motivational Monday. I am your host, Davone'a. I meet with you all every Monday at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to provide practical steps toward our inner healing journey, or what I've coined internal glow up. Whether you're here as a first-time listener or returning, thank you for tuning in. The team and I are grateful to every subscriber via YouTube and every listener via Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, as well as Spotify. With a special shout out to all of our IGU babes keeping up with us on social media on all platforms at CC Podcast with DT. Y'all are locked in, and we are too hyped to have you here, all right? Now, ensure to listen on through so you can receive those practical steps as well as any announcements that we may have. Let's dive on into today's episode.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Conscious Courage podcast, where I am your host, Davone'a. And for the month of December, we're closing out 2024 discussing intentional goals. If you know me, then on my personal Instagram, I am sharing my intentionality for the year of 2024 and the investment that I made into a mastermind course that really allowed me access into some rooms that, if I had not made that investment or decided that for this year I would move with intentionality, I would not have met some of the people that I've met, been in some of the rooms, been in some of the cars, and shared some of the conversations that I've been very blessed to have. So for this month of December, we're discussing intentional goals from vision to victory. I have some interviews. By that way, you're not closing out the year just hearing me. But stick around for that. I'll have a live, and then I'll change that live on into an actual episode for the Conscious Courage podcast. My prayer, my hope is that after listening to these, you walk away with, or we walk away with, because it's applicable to me as well, being able to turn our dreams into a reality, no matter what that dream is. Maybe that dream is simply waking up at 6 in the morning because you normally wake up at 7. How do we get that, or how do we make that goal, that dream, a reality for you? So in this episode, we will explore some purposeful goals, also how to stay committed to those goals, and how to avoid the goal fatigue or burnout, because y'all, I started off like here, hit the ground running. By the time September hit, I'm like, I need a whole break. Like, I need the rest of the year off, okay? Paid off. So I definitely want to highlight goal fatigue, and we'll also start just discussing how to remain encouraged when you're going through life experiences, those stressors, a divorce or a marriage, going through now having a child, going through whatever the case may be, right? That just threw a curveball into your life. But before I continue to just talk, let's get to today's episode. Let's get all into it, y'all. Grab your pens, your papers, your notebook. Tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend. Send this out. All right, let's get these intentional goals ready. Before I get into all of it, I do want to say this. It was a lot putting this whole setup and things just not working out. So this is not my normal angle. There's normally more that you can see. But right now, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit, because a lot was happening. Equipment wanted to die. Like, let me just start recording. So excuse me, this may be the setup for the next couple episodes until I can get all this worked out. Now, defining intentional goals. So what are those intentional goals? And that is ensuring that, well, not ensuring anything. Intentional goals are not just about what you want to achieve, but also the why. So let's figure out your why. Why are you getting after these goals? Why do you want to start waking up at 6 a.m. or 0600? For my military men and women out there, it is about also aligning your goals with your core values and priorities and looking at those long-term visions and goals that you have. Just a little secret, I am not one to write out long-term goals. So like God has just allowed me to accomplish and stumble upon opportunities and accomplishments, but I have yet to sit out and go, okay, for this year, this is what I want to do. It's like I just create those goals on the cuff. So again, this episode is not just for you. It's also speaking to me. I need to intentionally set out those goals and intentionally figure out and write out my why. By that way, I can prioritize and also mitigate goal fatigue, because your girl will jump into everything at one time. And it's like, what did I just sign myself up for? Why am I doing 3 things at once? Just want to get it all done, doing too much. And I will talk about that. So the difference between intentional and random goals. So your random goals is I want to lose weight. But that intentional goal is I want to lose weight by June 2025 in order to take my children or participate in my children's summer activities. Like I want to play soccer with my children. I want to play baseball, basketball, whatever the case may be. So how you want to set up those intentional goals is by creating you a SMART goal. This acronym may be familiar to some, but new to others. So I'll just break it down really quick. The S in SMART stands for specific. The M is measurable. And the A is achievable, the R is relevant, and then the T is time bound. So a specific goal here is, instead of saying, oh, I want to save money, say, oh, I need to save, or I want to save, or I will save. I am saving, because we spoke about this in episode 33 about your words and being intentional, and how what you call a thing is what it comes to pass, as spoken in Genesis when Adam named the animals, and God said, whatever you name it is what it will be. So just wanted to throw that out there. Back on course. I am saving $500 a month, or I am saving X amount of money a month to purchase a home in August 2025. So figure out what that overall goal is. Well, how much money do you need as a down payment? And then work your way backwards. Okay, well, I need X amount of money for a down payment, plus closing costs, plus an inspection or an appraisal, plus anything else. All right, that's a total that I need. So what do I need to start saving every check, every month, every 2 weeks? How can I pick up a second job in order to reach that goal? So now I just gave you a lot. That's a whole lot to write down as a goal. Simply put, I need to save $10,000 August 2025. I think that's the year that I use, because we're going into 2025. Now you have your goal. That's it. That is the goal. $10,000 August 2025. Now you can start working on those SMART, right? The specific and the measurable, the achievable and the relevant goal to make it to that time of August 2025. So hopefully that makes sense for you. And maybe purchasing the home is not it, but fill in your goal with that space and time. Just wanted to use that as an example. For my brothers and sisters in the Lord, hallelujah, hey, Habakkuk is how you say it. Chapter 2, verse 2 reads that, write the vision and make it plain on tablets that he may run who reads it. Writing down your goals helps to clarify your vision and makes easier to take actionable steps. Now let's get on into staying committed to your goal and sometimes why people fall off. So I gave you the example of myself where I'll go after multiple things at one time and then out of nowhere, now it's like, okay, too much on the plate. What is coming? What am I going to start missing? Is there even value added? I invested into a mastermind and it's like, wait, it's repetitive, but it isn't teaching me. And so this is information I wouldn't know unless I made the investment. And so now I don't really show up in the way that I should. And I've invested X amount of funds into it. So I share that to say ensuring that whatever those goals are, like just not getting ahead of yourself, because I was in another mastermind. I didn't even do everything I needed to do for that mastermind before I jumped on into another one. Almost out of FOMO, like fear of missing out, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to get this done while I'm still on this road. I want to say something else, on this road of drive, like just drive. But I should have allowed myself to really process out of one and then transition into the other. Now, one reason why people may become lax on their goals is they struggle to simply stick with it. They lose clarity. They forget their why. There's distractions, right? Things come up in life. Or even self-doubt. So the fear of failure will cripple them, in which they don't take that leap toward whatever that goal is. They don't write the book. They don't start the podcast. They don't join that new job or that committee. They don't apply for the scholarship. They don't apply for the school, the higher education. They don't attend the extracurricular activities. They don't ask that person out. They don't, I don't know, whatever else is applicable to your life. So sit back and reflect. That is my homework assignment to you, is sit back and reflect where there's fear, and that's natural, and how that fear has impeded or kept you from achieving a goal. How has that fear resulted in failure? Because the word says that the Lord did not give us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So you can just rebuke that anyway and continue to go. Number 2 reason why is they just can't stay on track. So here is a strategy for you. Go ahead and break that big goal down, right? You need $10,000 by August 2025. Break it on down into bite-sized pieces. There's an elephant in front of you, and you will eat the elephant by every couple bites or whatever. I don't eat elephant. Just, that's like, I don't think it's a colloquialism. No, that's not the right term. An expression that people use. So an example of this here is, instead of focusing on that big goal of getting out of debt, focus on paying off one credit card at a time or saving like $50 a week.
Ad break. Are you seeking an electrifying speaker to ignite transformation in your audience? Well, look no further. Hi, I'm Davone'a Touche, real estate investor, Air Force veteran, and host of the Conscious Courage podcast, where new episodes are released every Monday, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time via YouTube and all streaming audio platforms. I specialize in delivering impactful keynote speeches that inspire change and elevate your minds. Whether it's a virtual gathering or an in-person event, I bring passion, expertise, and a unique delivery to every arena or every environment that I'm in. Let's captivate your audience together and create an unforgettable experience. Contact me today to book your next event, and let's embark on this journey of transformation, or let's get all of your attendees on this journey toward internal glow up. You can book me via my website by going to www.davoneatouche.com. I'll spell that for you. It is www.DAV as in Victor, ONEATASHAE.com. I look forward to connecting with you. Take care.
Accountability. So sharing your goals with a trusted friend, a mentor, or a coach. This here is important, underscoring that you trust said resource, said person that you confide in, and that person will hold you accountable, or also known as an accountability partner. You see this in the mastermind courses that I've attended. You see this when you're in college, when you're playing sports, if you're into working out. just having that person to keep you motivated, check in on you, see how you're doing, seeing if you're keeping up and keeping your word. How are you doing mentally and emotionally? You can also see this if you're grieving, right? Having that person that just checks on you to see how are you doing today? Like, what's going on? Checking on that friend that may have attempted suicide or has spoken on it again, seeing how their well-being is, right? It doesn't necessarily have to tie in with intentional goals, which is the topic for this month, because it's applicable in other areas of your life. But let me not switch up the topics or whatever. Celebrating small wins also. You go ahead and you save your first $50 that you've ever saved ever. You know what? I'm proud of you. You tell yourself, I'm proud of you. You saved $50. This is the first time. You know, you can treat yourself to a dollar item off of the McDonald's menu. You know what I'm saying? Like, round of applause. Maybe next check, go ahead and celebrate by saving $55. You know, do that for yourself. But celebrating the small wins, and what that does is it helps you recognize that you are moving in the direction that you set forth for yourself. It builds your courage as well. Number 3 is you have to be able to balance discipline with grace. So let's say you set out to save that $50 a week and you come up shy. Maybe you only save $30. It's okay. Applaud yourself for saving the $30 with the understanding that this next go round, if you said you're going to save $50 every week or every 2 weeks, well, this next go round, you will need to save $70. That 20 is to make up for the 20 that you didn't have when you had 30. You see what I'm saying? Maybe that's picking up a second job, looking for a job of higher pay or salary, something along those lines. So if you miss a day of working out, don't worry. If you told yourself you'll work out 5 days and you miss one day, well, then just pick up on that Saturday when you miss Monday. You know, it's all about progress over perfection. And here is a scripture. Galatians 6:9 says, "Let us not grow weary in our doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart." If I were breaking this down into different parts, I would say this is part number 3, or I'd like to do this now, like 3. I don't know where I came up with this, but I'm like 1, 2, 3. And that is managing the goal fatigue or burnout. So I spoke about this in the beginning. But to explain goal fatigue again, or in another way, it occurs when you're mentally, or even emotionally drained from pursuing too many goals or overly ambitious targets. Like, you might hear this if you are in some kind of training, or if you've gone to a gun range, right? It's like target up, target up, target up. And you're like, what's going on here? I need to shoot this one, to shoot this one, to shoot that. And it's like, whoa, imagine if you were just able to like move in a straight line. It's like target up, okay, hit it, all right, good. Target up, okay, hit it, okay, good. That's how you should look at your goals, right? Where it is, excuse me, that was... I'm sure people will watch this and go, I was not expecting her to give that kind of example. Oh my gosh, too funny. So that's the same outlook or analogy that you can use when you are pursuing your goals. All right, and this week I'm saving $50. Boom, I did it. Okay, and the next week I'm saving $50. Boom, I did it. Oh, in order for me to reach that goal of saving $50 a week or even bi-weekly, you may need to cut back on your coffee drinking, on your eating out, on the snacks that you buy, on buying other people gifts, on giving money out or loaning money all the time, or even spending money on things because, let's face it, people have addictions. It could be some kind of a drug addiction, alcohol addiction, or substance use is appropriate to say. And so cutting back on spending in those particular areas. How do you prevent the goal fatigue? In addition to what I just said, it's, I guess, what I said as it pertains to overcommitting yourself, and that is having the ability to say no, having the ability to write out, okay, a start and an end with maybe a break in between, and then starting the next thing over again. So prioritizing what matters the most and then allowing everything else to fall into place. You can also schedule rest time and reflection. So, as I mentioned in November, I only made one post. Well, I mentioned it in episode 33. I only made one recording. I made multiple posts, but one recording. All the other posts were previously recorded or like from short clips that I had. And that allowed me to step away from setting up and recording to be present, maybe sleep some more, or look at some other matters and write out other things that I need to get done. Finally, I would say it's knowing your why as well. As I've mentioned, writing out that why, knowing your why can or should empower you to continue to pursue your goals, even when you do feel fatigue, right? Not pushing past the fatigue because you still need to rest and reset. But after that rest, that reset, that break, getting right back to it. Here are some ways that you can recover from burnout, and that is stepping back. So taking that step back when you're feeling like you're burnt out, give yourself permission to pause, breathe. It's okay, and come back to it. Ask yourself, what's one thing that I can do today to move forward without overwhelming myself? Also, having or being able to assess your goals. Is this goal still pertinent to me? Okay, I said I was saving $50 a week and I was saving this $50 a week in order to buy a new TV. I bought the TV. Do I still need to save $50 a week? Or can I go back to treating myself to the drinks of coffee or other drinks that you may treat yourself to? Okay, or you can look at it on the other lens, which is, okay, I am saving $50. Can I now increase this to saving $55 or even $60? And if you don't reach that goal, being okay with it and knowing that you always have the next check to restart. You always have a new day to restart. And for those who have faith, you can lean on to the fact that in Philippians 4:13, you could do all things through Christ who gives you the strength. Okay, you could do all things through Christ who strengthens you. So there's no need. Excuse me, let me check myself, because it's natural to feel weary, but there is no need to. You have the strength within. Just call it out. Use the word to bring it on out. Okay. Now here's my favorite part, and I am prayerful that it is yours. Our practical steps. So step number 1 is writing down your top 3 goals for the next month. We're in the month of December. So there's actually 5 Mondays this month. Writing out your top 3 goals for the month of December. You don't have to do the new year, new me, wait until January. Whatever that new goal is, you can start right now. You can start today. You can start right now. It's only the 2nd day into December 2024. Start now. Finish the year strong and stay on track, giving yourself grace, pacing yourself so that in 2025, you are proud of the man, of the woman that you are, and that you kept your word to you. Intentionality to get you access into the door. Intentionality to get you in front of that screen. Intentionality to get you to where you want to go. Step number 2 is scheduling time for your goals. So that means blocking out and having a dedicated time in your calendar for working on your goals, and also treating your goals like this is make or break. If you miss that time for setting your goal or miss that time for like your goal setting, what are you going to do? You don't get to treat yourself to that $1 item on McDonald's menu. There has to be some positive and some negative, right? Negative reinforcement is removing that ability to go and purchase the McDonald's $1 menu item to reinforce yourself to doing the right thing. And the positive reinforcement is treating yourself to that $1 item off the McDonald's menu. I don't know why McDonald's in my mind, but it is. Okay. Let me say this. I went to Japan and their McDonald's is really good. Like I don't really eat fast food like that, but they have these fries and they come up with this little seasons, like a garlic some seasoning. I love garlic. And then I shake it up real good. And then I ate it and I was like, this is so good. This is so good. Don't taste like American fries. Okay, these are some good fries. But I digress. So, y'all, that's it for this episode. That is it for episode number, this is 34. I want to thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Conscious Courage podcast. And I want to remind you that accomplishing your goals is a journey and not a sprint. Okay, so stay focused and take it one step at a time. Lean in on your faith as necessary when the times get rough and when the times get tough. Also, healing is a journey, and so it's okay. It's okay if you need to reset, if you need to refocus, if you need to rest, if you need to pause. Just get back in the game, okay? Even the top tier athletes have to take a break in between the quarters. That was good. That's good. Y'all learned a little more about me, okay? I'm over here talking about target up, target down, referencing sports. I mean, everything isn't about the conscious courage all the time. So if you enjoyed today's discussion, I do ask for actions, okay? And those actions is that you continue this journey with me by subscribing to the podcast. You can listen, of course, here on YouTube, but also you can go out to Spotify. You can go out to Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, download the episodes. So by that way, you can listen to them whether you're online or offline. Like this here video, share with 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 30 of the people that you know, okay? Please and thank you. I appreciate you. And until next time, stay courageous, stay conscious, and keep glowing from within. I know that it takes courage to be conscious, but courage is the key to conscious living. I love y'all, and I will see you next week. Disclaimer, as a content creator with a background in psychology and ongoing studies in mental health, it is important that I clarify I am not a licensed professional, that the videos and the podcasts that I produce are intended for educational and entertainment as well as transformational purposes and resilience. It's essential to consult with a licensed mental health professional for clinical perspectives and personalized advice tailored to your specific needs. Your mental well-being is of the utmost importance to me, as well as your physical, as well as your emotional, as well as your spiritual. But seeking guidance from a qualified professional is encouraged for any concerns or issues that you may be experiencing.